Hi, this is Eric. I am the Giant Triker. This is another sitting at home edition of the channel. It's cold and rainy outside, and I've got a lot of questions about the camera I use, and I wanted to demonstrate a little bit about the software that powers the camera, I guess you could say. It's the software that will take that 360-degree video and then flatten it down so that you can put it into a video later. So the camera that I use is the Insta 360-1R. Now up here on their website they've got the twin edition here, but basically you can see there's like a module. It's modular. It comes apart, and that lens you can swap out for just a flat kind of GoPro kind of style lens or a 360 module. I use the 360 module. So the software that comes with this camera, it's completely free, and it's called Insta 360 Studio. They push out constant updates to it, and it's pretty cool to use. So I'm going to show you what it's all about. So I've got some videos here from March 30th. It looks like when I was riding in Midway, and I want to grab actually the vid files here, and I can just drag and drop these into the footage area of the software, and it will start loading the files. And here we go. So all the different clips here are going to show up on the left side, and it shows you how long they are. So let me just pick one out here that's a little bit longer and kind of show you what the view is like. If I just double click on this, I'm actually going to turn the sound off on these for now. So it starts off in this mode called View, and when I'm in this mode I can actually kind of click and drag my mouse around, and I can see the ride from any, I can look at from the camera's point of view at any angle. So this particular shot I was doing, this is a pretty straightforward shot. You just hold the camera straight up above your head, and there's a selfie stick on there that you can't see. The camera just cuts that out of the shot completely, which is super cool. So the selfie stick will not appear in the shot because it's in the blind spot of the camera. So anyway, I can take a look around on this video and see, kind of get an idea of what I might want to look at during this clip, and then share with you later. So once I've kind of got that idea in mind, I'll hit this free capture mode. And in free capture mode, you're going to set up what's called keyframes. Keyframe is simply saying, at this point in time, I want the camera to be looking in a specific direction. So let's just say in this example, I really like this particular, well, a cloud wouldn't really move that much. Let's just say this tree here that's in the middle, I really like that tree for some reason. Go down here, I'm going to add a keyframe. And then I can hit go, hit play a little bit, let it play for a few seconds. Then I can recenter that tree, add another keyframe, go a few more seconds, bring it to the center, add another keyframe. So just a really quick example here. Now that I've set up my keyframes, so I hit play, it's simply going to move the camera view with the tree. Now when I was recording this, I wasn't moving the camera at all. I was just holding it on a stick straight up. That's it. So let's say after the tree, I'm like, okay, I really want to look down at my face now. I can kind of set a keyframe and then move it down to be looking at my face for whatever reason. So part of this here is it's going to do a linear move. When it gets done, it's kind of jerky, it's like it's moving and then it just suddenly stops. It's pretty cool in here. You actually have these transitions, and I can smooth that out. So if I click this little line between the keyframes, then I can say, the one I use most of the time here is fade in, fade out. And you'll see here it'll actually smooth out. So it'll start slow, come quicker, and then smooth out again. It's a little bit more natural look for those view changes. Let's see if I can get a shot here where okay, yeah, so like behind the bike here, or trike, sorry. blow this keyframe away. So let's say I actually want to like look out behind me like this. I can set a keyframe, hit go, and then maybe if you're going to do like a 180 turn, like 8 seconds is pretty good. If you can do like 8 seconds, flip it around, hit keyframe, and then I'm going to set that transition, fade in, fade out, and it will slowly come around. And voila. So there's also different views you can use. So this is using what's called the fisheye view. I mean, it kind of looks like a fish down there, I guess. Let me see if I can find one that might look good with little planet mode. So let's take a look. I was holding this up pretty high, right? I think so. Let's just skip ahead a little bit. Go back to free capture here. And you can do different views here. So if I set a keyframe and above, or I don't know, in this area, there's 4 different icons. I've got the fisheye. So well, when I click it, it's going to go straight forward, but I'll be able to change that later. The one I like to use here a lot is Little Planet. So it actually gets the whole 360-degree view, but it's kind of morphed around. And this view is pretty cool. When I'm in this view, I can also use the mouse wheel and I can zoom in if I wanted to. Like if I wanted a big tiny planet, I could do something like this and do that, or I can zoom out even more if I want a really tiny planet. There's also this, I think it's called Crystal Ball. Yeah, I don't do this. It's basically an inverse tiny planet, but you can do some pretty weird stuff with that if you really wanted to. I mean, there you go. And the other mode here is just a flat view. So what flat view does, I can show you the difference between fisheye, that's a fisheye, and then I go to flat view here. Or I think they call it perspective view, but anyway, in perspective view, I'll notice like if I'm looking towards the side of the road like this, and I have it in fisheye, I'll have to go back to the keyframe first. When I do this in fisheye, it has a really weird, distorted look when I'm looking to the side of the road. So on shots like that, I'll tend to use the flat mode, but you get to see less, so I don't know. It's a give and take on that one. I kind of like the fisheye, but I kind of like the flat mode too. So it really just depends what mood I'm in. If I think this looks funny, I'll just switch it over. And I can also, let's say I'm going down this road, and I think, I think it'd be cool to go into Tiny Planet from this flat view here. Go a little bit, set a keyframe, set Tiny Planet mode, and it will go from the forward-looking view into Tiny Planet over time. Pretty cool stuff, isn't it? There's a couple other features here. There's something called lock direction. We find there was one that was up here and it was pretty good that I think would demonstrate this as I'm going around a curve. Let's just see if this one does. I probably don't record enough of that one. Or this one. Okay, wait, this did I come around a corner here? Yeah, okay, perfect. This is a really good demonstration of what something called lock direction is going to do. So there's already keyframes on here because it saves between projects. So I'm going to turn off lock direction, and I'm actually going to kill some of these keyframes here so we have enough time to look at this. Go back to this keyframe here. Now you're going to see when I turn the corner, the camera is going to continue pointing in the current direction, like a compass needle. It's going to keep pointing in that same direction as I go around the corner. Sometimes that's what you want to happen, but usually not. So there's a little feature here called lock direction. I click that on. Now the view will be locked in relative to the direction the camera was facing as I make the turns. You'll see how it'll actually continue to face forward. Imagine your head staying solid as you go around the corner. Your view is going to steer that way. So it's pretty cool that you can kind of play with that some. And just to show off how amazing the stabilization is on this camera, there's this thing called flow state stabilization. It's always on by default, but I can turn this off and you'll just see this is what the raw footage of the camera would be like without the stabilization. And you can see it's pretty nauseating. So that flow state stabilization is super cool. I mean, it looks like a drone flying almost. It's pretty amazing. So they've done a really good job with that. You can also put a logo on here. I don't do that. I think what it does is cover up where the selfie stick would be, so it looks a little less weird. You know, but I don't use it because there's no point. So now I'm going to turn on the sound a little bit. Let me see if I can find the clip where I was actually talking in this one. Probably this long one here. Hopefully you can hear this. Symptoms that seem to indicate that probably ankylosing spondylitis. So there's this true audio thing. If I turn this off, you can hear a ton of wind noise. Again, I'm not sure if it's recording the audio here, but very windy. Or I can click voice focus, and it helps a lot. This was a really windy day, and it wasn't enough, but it tries. So it's definitely better than not using it. So there's that as well. Basically, once I have set up all of my keyframes, well, let's go back to these here. Turn the sound back off. Can't remember which one I was looking at before. Well, I know I keyframe it. I didn't keyframe that one before. Here's a good one. All right, so anyway, now let's say I got this video exactly where I want it. In this case, I was focusing on this old silo that was near the side of the road, and got all my keyframes set. So now I'm ready to create a .m. I think it's an MP4. No, it's an MOV. Sorry, so I can actually go up to a right click on the clip and just say Start Export. And I've got a lot of options here. Now the 360 camera, if you've reframed it 920 or 1920 by 1080, it's pretty good. And then I set it to ProRes. This does eat up a lot more disk space, but it makes it a lot easier to edit later. I'll probably go over the editing in another video, but for now, just know that ProRes is pretty good. You can set a frame, well, only frame rate there is 2997. You do something called Color Plus. I never use it, but then I can set a file name, a file location, hit OK, and it will start rendering the video out. So once I'm ready to edit the whole video that gets uploaded to YouTube, I can take all of these clips that I've made in Studio and put them together. This is not a video editing program. This is not like Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve is what I use, or Vegas Pro. This is not meant for that. This is simply taking your 360 camera footage and flattening it. So I hope you found that useful. I know when I saw a demonstration of it, I thought, wow, that is pretty cool. That's why I want to buy that camera. So if you're considering getting a 360 camera, the Insta 360 1R is pretty amazing. They've come out with a couple other cameras since, so check them out. And I hope you found that video helpful. And I also hope to get out riding soon. The weather's supposed to be really nice tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. So again, thanks for watching the Giant Triker Home Edition, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.